In my previous video on self-worth, I mentioned that using affirmations was a great tool to remember and realign with one's self-worth. However, in that video, I was somewhat negative about the use of affirmations. I referred to them as boring and tedious because they do require a lot of work. And let's face it, everybody today loves a quick fix, don't they? So the point of this video today is to hopefully leave you with something a little bit more exciting than writing out tons of affirmations and pasting them all over your home and workplace. I mean, who wants to do that, right? After I recorded that video, I thought about subliminals, a trend that has been hitting the internet for some time now, with promises of dissolving unconscious blocks and self-limiting beliefs to losing weight and attracting more abundance. So why hadn't I mentioned something seemingly much easier than boring old affirmations? Well, to be honest, I haven't used subliminals myself until recently after that video as an experiment, and this is how it went down. I searched on YouTube for a subliminal messaging audio that I resonated with, and I hit play. For some peculiar reason, I thought I was going to be hearing someone on the other end repeating affirmations or groups of affirmations related to the same thing, maybe with some music in the background. But instead, I just heard the sound of waves crashing on the shore and nothing more. So I skipped the track a little bit, hoping to get to the part where they repeat the affirmations. Nothing. And I skipped right through the entire track and realized that there were no audible affirmations. So I went to the next video and, maybe there was something wrong with that one. And this time I heard rain and thunder. Oh, subliminals. Duh, subliminals. It's hidden from the conscious mind. So I went onto Google and yeah, subliminal messaging, duh, is messaging that bypasses the conscious mind to be received by the subconscious. How the hell does that work? And does it work? So I went onto Google and I did some more research. It turns out there isn't much scientific research, or actually I haven't found any scientific research with regards to subliminal messaging used in the context of manifestation or improving one's life. However, there is some research on subliminal messaging in the context of marketing and advertising. For example, in the 1950s, there was a famous experiment that was carried out to test the effectiveness of subliminal messaging. During a screening of a movie, they flashed short messages across a screen, such as drink Coca-Cola or eat popcorn or are you hungry? Obviously, these messages were not perceived consciously, and it was shown that sales had dramatically increased of said products. But later, the results were found to be fraudulent. Disappointing. In other research, results have varied, and it seems that subliminal messaging in the context of marketing and sales, of course, is actually not that effective. It really depends on the individual and whether the messaging taps into a pre-existing desire. So the message has to be goal relevant to that individual, and other conditions have to be favorable. Also, in one of the studies, it showed that neurons in the brain are actually more sensitive to exposed stimuli versus hidden stimuli. So my question is, are these results in the context of marketing and sales transferable to subliminal messaging in the context of manifestation and improving one's life? I don't know. Well, if you think about a commercial plays for a very short amount of time, maybe 30 seconds. So there's not much time that you can be flashing these hidden messages. Whereas with these audios specifically designed to provide affirmations to improve one's life, they are repeated. In some of them, they're repeated like 1,000,000 times over an 8-hour period. Also, the individual knows in advance, or hopefully they know, due to the title of the audio or in the description of the video, most people leave a list of the affirmations used. So they kind of know what they're listening to, hopefully. So maybe just the increased repetition would work better. But my question is, why are you hiding the messages? I don't get that part. Like, why do the messages have to be hidden from the conscious mind? Is it because it works faster, like you bypass the conscious mind to get to the subconscious because the results are faster? So that made me think about hypnosis, right? And there's been a lot of research on hypnosis with great results. I know a lot of people try hypnosis to give up things like smoking or to decrease anxiety or chronic pain, stress, etc. And research results have been very successful. With smoking, maybe like the success rate is between like 60 and 80%, whereas with reducing things like anxiety, stress, and chronic pain, the results have been much better, like almost like a 90% success rate. So being in a state of hypnosis requires a deep sense of relaxation and an increased focus. But the messaging is not hidden, right? So my question still stands. Why are we hiding the messages in subliminal messaging for manifestation? It doesn't make sense to me. So I did some more research, some non-scientific research. There's some videos out there with people explaining how it works and why it works. And one young lady mentioned in her video that in order for the subliminal messaging to work, one has to believe the affirmation being presented. I'm sorry, what? Okay. Oh, this just stuns me. I'm sorry. If one already believes the messaging being presented in a subliminal, then why are you listening to a subliminal? For example, if you already believe you are confident or abundant, then why would you be listening to a subliminal trying to change your belief on confidence or abundance? It defeats the purpose, right? I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy. Now, if she said one has to believe that the subliminal messaging will work, that would make more sense, because I believe that our beliefs are very powerful, and this is why we're trying to change our beliefs to something positive, right? So if you believe that subliminal messaging does not work, it probably won't work. But if you believe that it does work, then there's a high likelihood that it would work for you. I don't know. My question still stands. Why are we hiding the messages? Someone help me. Look, I know that affirmations work because I've used them successfully. I used to write out my affirmations one by one and paste them behind my bedroom door in my childhood home and repeat them over and over. And I've had great success in overcoming or rewiring my brain with certain beliefs. So I know they work. But as an adult with a preference for aesthetically pleasing environments and privacy, I prefer not to scatter my affirmations all over my house and workplace. Just me. However, I wouldn't be opposed to recording my own affirmations, audible, exposed stimuli, putting them on a loop for 8 hours, and maybe put some lovely music in the background. That would make more sense to me. I'm not discounting that subliminals work. I'm just curious as to, do they work? How do they work? And why are the messages hidden? So if anyone has success in this area or knows much more than I do on the topic, I would love to hear from you. I'm honestly intrigued. But this video was meant to give you something a little bit more exciting than affirmations. Maybe you do want to research some subliminal messaging, try them out, make sure you know what you're listening to, or you could just record your own voice and loop it and listen to it overnight or during the day while you're working or doing whatever you do. Also, I found this app called Affirmates. Yeah, very cool name. By the way, I'm not being sponsored by this. They have a 7-day free trial, and I think it's like close to $40 a year or something like that. I tried the pre-trial version just to see what the app is about, and it's actually a really cool app. It's visually and audibly stimulating. They use different elements in conjunction, including affirmations, Tibetan bowls, japa, which is the practice of repeating an affirmation or mantra, 963 frequency, which is said to be a healing frequency, and other elements such as nature sounds, crystals, koshi. I've never heard of that before, but it's actually a musical instrument. And something interesting that they do is you pair a personal item like a ring or a necklace with an affirmation. And so I think this is a great tool because it reminds me of classical conditioning. Remember Pavlov's dog? Pavlov trained his dog to salivate to the sound of a bell and thus associate the ringing of a bell with food. So it's kind of the same thing. So you're associating an affirmation with a physical object, and I think like by doing that, like whenever you see that object, like if you're wearing the object during the day, you will think about your affirmation, and it's another way to increase that affirmation and continue using it so that it does eventually drop down to the level of the subconscious mind. So that's it. I would love to hear from you on this because I'm not an expert on subliminals. But in today's day and age, there's so many new tools and tricks that we can use. Just research them well, understand what they're about, experiment, and let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? I would love to know. All right, guys, see you later. Why am I laughing so much? Okay. Okay. Let's get serious. Okay. Great tool. Whoa. So stuck. It's a lot to say, but I just need to get this one paragraph done. Okay. Okay. Almost. Okay. Of dissolving unconscious blocks and self-limiting beliefs. Now, how the hell does that work? I'm sorry, love. Okay.